hopefully coming back home with the City Connect jerseys, and the stadium is probably going to be as filled as almost opening day for Friday. Let's hope that that's the beginning of it.
They could do two things I can think of off the top of my head. Call up Junior Caminero, but then you would have to make him the quasi-savior because he is heating up in AAA right now.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
And we are the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making us your very first listen every day. Be sure to check out and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Locked On Rays. You can also find us on X and Instagram at Locked On Rays. And email us anytime, lockedonrays@gmail.com. Well, that was a doozy of a series against the Brewers. Not quite as bad as against the White Sox, but still pretty dang bad. And before we dive into that, Ulises, I think you have something to share with us that I have no knowledge of.
So I kind of accidentally saw this video on X, and I said, I want to bring this up to our Locked On Race community and Kevin as well. Mm-hmm. So I did some work with some subtitles, and hope you enjoy.
Si usted está bateando menos de lo que pesa, no puede estar muy show em off. No puede. El sistema no te lo permite. Ahora, si ya tú estás 250, 260, 300, par de jonrón, heavy, bueno, pues ya el sistema te permite que tú coges el swagger. Pero coño, mucho swagger con poca libra en el averaje, que tú tienes que entrar bateando. Cuando tú vas para el home plate, tú entras rápido porque estás bateando 100. Pero cuando tú estás bateando 300, tú entras al home plate así, el lean back. Pa, 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 pa. Pero bateando 100, no se puede. Bateando 100 y con un jonrón y con dos jonrón, con 3 IBI, no. Tiene que estar low key.
That was awesome. From Carlos Gomez, one-time Ray.
Exactly. Rays legend, Carlos Gomez, and of course Brewers too. So it was very apropos that he had an opinion. But I want to hear your opinion first, Kevin. What did you think about what Carlos says there?
Yeah, and before we get to that, Ulises, if you just want to semi-translate and summarize what Carlos said for our podcast listening folks who may not comprende español.
Yeah, and well, you know what? They missed it. It was subtitled in English on YouTube. So, guys,
so you're gonna make them go to YouTube to hear
YouTube. You got to get to YouTube. But basically, what he says is, if you're hitting less than what you weigh, if you're hitting 100, you can't act like you have all the swag in the world. Maybe if you're hitting 250, 260, 300. Perhaps you're able to be a little bit more swaggy. But, when you're hitting 100, you got to get in the box quick.
Right.
You can't be, strutting it when you're hitting 100. When you're hitting 300 and with few bombs, do all the swag that you want. But when you're hitting 100, you just have to remain low key. So that's the audio version of the translation. Now I want to hear what you have to say.
Now, in Siri's defense, he is hitting 186, not 100, but that is still below his listed body weight of 210 pounds. And maybe Mr. Gomez should have included something about having a 44, 45% strikeout rate as well. And that a little bit more weight. Quite frankly, I did not have a huge issue with Jose Siri pimping that home run because it was a massive home run at 452 feet. I more so have an issue with him pimping a ball that doesn't go over the park. So I would take more umbrage with that. But I look at it another way in the sense of you see a starter get a big strikeout to end the inning or a closer that finishes off a game. They're cheering, they're celebrating, they're yelling, they're screaming. So I honestly did not have a big problem with what Jose Siri showcased. What I have a bigger problem with was, well, he dropped a ball later on in that game that hit his glove. And the fact that, I will actually, in a way, commend Jose Siri because he was the only one that was getting an extra base hit in that entire series. Everybody else was singles McGee. Literally everybody else. I think 15 of the 16 hits in that game by the Rays over the course of 3 games were singles, Siri being the lone bomb. So I will give him the celebration here.
15 out of 16 were singles. You're completely right about that. I think I don't take umbrage, like he said, with his celebration. Honestly, I think out of all the celebrations that we have seen from Jose Siri, this was pretty on the low side of things.
I would have to look really closely at the replay, but did he stare down the pitcher at all?
No, he did not.
Okay. That might be a little bit of a different scenario as far as an intimidation tactic, but this isn't like the most egregious home run pimp of all time. We see it game in, game out. But I understand where Carlos is going with that.
Yeah, and definitely on the low spectrum of what we've seen from Siri. But I think his point remains with you can't act like you're the swaggiest guy when you're hitting in the hundreds. Maybe, he didn't mean like actually you're hitting 100, like you're hitting in the 100s,
Understood.
which Siri is. So I think the celebration was not over the top from what we've seen from Siri. And, you see that all the time now. That's the kind of celebration that we're having around the game now. But the point remains, I think, behind it. Like, dude, know what your numbers are. You can't expect people to like how you're behaving when your numbers are not backed up.
Right.
And that's the case right now with Siri. His attitude is not really being backed up with his production.
No, that's fair. And he's not the only guy that is not producing because it is ugly across the board. In fact, if you look at what the Rays rolled out as far as a lineup on Wednesday, it was egregious just based on the injuries and so many guys struggling. Like, there is nothing there as of right now. The Rays, over the course of 3 games, averaged a whopping 1.3 runs. They scored that 1 run on Monday. Pepio, again, gets no run support whatsoever, or very little run support. 6-inning shutout from him, by the way. And then, like, this totally is on brand for the Rays right now. That 1 run on Monday's game came on a double play. Bases loaded double play. That's what you have to do to get a run across the board these days, I guess. And I think in Wednesday's 7-1 loss, it was a wild pitch that scored the run for the Rays.
It's low right now, the offensive production. And I have around like 8 numbers that I want to throw at you guys. So just like, how bad is it right now? Well, okay. WRC plus is at a 94, 6 points below average, which is 19th in the league. The K rate is at 24.4%, which is the 6th highest in all of MLB. The slugging at 352 is 26 in MLB. The walk rate at 7% is 28th in the league. The ISO, the isolated power, which is slugging minus average, is 28th in the league at 113. Hard hit percentage. Are they hitting the ball hard? Well, no, they're not. They're 24th in the league at 28.7%. How about ground balls? Are they really hitting the ball on the ground? Yes. 7th highest in MLB. Barrel percentage. Are they barreling the ball? No, they ain't. 29th in MLB at 5.8%. And last but not least, OPS. 653, 24th in MLB. All across the board, offensive numbers are awful right now.
So what you're saying is they're not hitting home runs. They're not hitting extra base hits. They're not drawing walks. They're not winning close games. They're not capitalizing when it counts. Yeah, not good. Not good at all. And you can point to Siri. You can also point to Randy Rosarina. You can also point to Yandy Diaz. You can point to the injury list because they have not, with the shelving of Aranda and Josh Lowe and Brandon Lau, among others, they're not getting the platoon leverage of lefty versus righties. And I think that's hurting them in dire fashion right now.
100% is hurting them. And you just have to hope that the team can somehow find it in them to stay relevant before those guys come back. Because if not, you're going to get that discrepancy bigger and bigger and bigger, larger and larger. And there's only so much that you can do when those guys come back. You would have to play perfect ball.
Right. Pretty much. Besides the ejection or ejections and the lack of runs scored, anything else that stuck out to you from the unfortunate Brewers series in closing out the road trip? What was it, 1-5 on that road trip?
1-5 the road trip. And I have a quote, but first I really want to hear what you have to say about how you can keep something in an MVP type status.
Yes, that would be passion, drive, and patience. That is the formula for winning championships. The Rays could take some notes there. It's also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors, they've got you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time, or your money is returned. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it is easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions do apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit is only available to U.S. customers.
So there was a quote that came out after Wednesday's game from Zach Eflin, which kind of caught my attention. He said, "We've just got to do a better job of playing together, showing some energy, playing with some passion. Those are things that we can control, so we're going to get there." I understand that winning breeds a better energy around the clubhouse and all that, and losing does exactly the opposite. However, in years past, when the Rays are going through a quote-unquote slump or a drought of wins, Kevin Cash and company and the boys are always like, "Oh no, we're coming in, refreshed, and today's a new day." And Kevin Cash is always the same kind of manner, mood.
Very stoic and level-headed, yes.
Exactly. That quote tells me that that's not what's happening there at all. Like, he's saying, no, we are coming in and we're already frustrated. We're coming in and we are already not giving off a good vibe when we're playing. And it's noticeable to us that are watching that they're not enjoying themselves. No. Again, you can enjoy yourself when you're winning. So I understand that that's a component that they need to have, but it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you're going into something, and this is going from MLB to just like your work as an electrician, a plumber, or a public information officer, whatever you're doing and you're coming in with a certain energy, that's probably a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I don't know what needs to happen, but the team just needs to kind of come in with an oomph, and hopefully coming back home with the City Connect jerseys, and the stadium is probably going to be as filled as almost opening day for Friday. Let's hope that that's the beginning of it.
They could do two things I can think of off the top of my head. Call up Junior Caminero, but then you would have to make him the quasi-savior because he is heating up in AAA right now. or trading back for Randy or Willie Adams. Get Adames back on the roster, but just don't let him hit balls at the trop, because he had himself a series, 3 home runs, plus a host of RBIs. He is tracking to earn his first All-Star appearance this year based on his numbers. 6 home runs, 278 batting average, 1.6 WAR, 21 RBIs, and those home runs were to the deepest part of the ballpark, left center field. So, I mean, in a sense, it sucked to see the Rays struggle mightily, but Adames is just a guy that you can't root for, that you can't root against, I should say. You can't root against him. He is the anti-Siri in a way, the anti-Verdugo in a way.
He's way too likable, right? He's kind of like Brett Phillips status. Like, you just can't help yourself to root for good things.
He's an energy guy too. Like, he would, he was the guy that was the first man out of the dugout to celebrate someone else after they did something awesome.
Glue guy, right? Yeah, and you need that. I will always root for Willie. This is his walk year. So he is going to get paid, like you're saying, if he keeps this up. Hopefully he does. I know this is a lot of like Monday. What is it called? Monday morning
quarterbacking.
Doesn't it suck though that like we gave him away for pitchers that have been already traded or are injured, and to make space for somebody that is no longer going to be playing professional baseball because of alleged
crazy activities. Yes.
Unreal. And like I understand. And by the way, please don't understand this as like, why did they trade him? Like, no, like nobody knew. It's just, again, just having the information. It sucks that that's the way that it had to go, because, it's regrettable, and who Willie has kept up being is really awesome. But again, like you were saying, he didn't hit at the trop, and that was going to probably remain being a factor because it had been for the last 4 years.
Right, for sure. All right, so now the Rays enjoy an off day Thursday, then get back at it Friday through Sunday against the Mets, who are pretty middling this year, but doing better than the Rays. As of this recording, they're 15-15, and maybe the one advantage the Rays have in this series is it being at home, and the Mets playing a Thursday day game, I believe, in New York, and then have to travel to Central Florida. So maybe there's a bit of jet lag in getting up, but I see the makings of, like against the Brewers, difficult pitching matchups on the 4. You have Luis Severino going up against, or I'm going out of order here. José Quintana going up against Darren Civale. Luis Severino going up against Zach Littell. Sean Manaea going up against Pepio. Quintana, Severino, Manaea have been nails this year. They don't need any of the Japanese imports that they signed and acquired, because those guys are tearing it up as of right now. I believe the Mets pitching staff as a whole has the 8th best ERA in baseball, and they're doing enough offensively to keep things going, led by Pete Alonso, who's not doing much else besides hitting bombs. He has 8 this year, but I think it's going to be a tough series, and I'll be really curious to see what the crowd is like, because we always know that New York, Philadelphia, LA, those types of markets draw at the Trop, but with the unveil of the City Connect, that may build up some groundswell for the locals to show up and show out and support their team, so we're not drowned out by New Yorkers, for lack of a better saying.
Friday night's game, I think, will be more Rays heavy because of the City Connect, because of all the energy that comes along with that. Saturday and Sunday, I think we're going to be hearing a lot of New York cheers. Obviously, like we know where we live. We know the snowbird situation. We know when you have been rooting for a team for 30, 40 years, it's pretty difficult when you retire to just like take onto the hometown team. We understand it. And like, if they do, when their team comes for 3 games, well, they might just, put the Devil Rays or the Rays jersey in the closet and dust off their Mets one to go to the Trop. So I think Saturday and Sunday will be New York heavy. And those, the Saturday, I don't know which pitching matchup is the most intriguing to me. Probably Sunday. Friday, I think you have to start on a good note. You have to begin this homestand in a positive note. You just went 1-5. You just got, like Kevin Cash said, this is not me being negative. Cash said, we didn't get outplayed. We didn't beat ourselves. We just got beat. We got outplayed. And it's so true. The White Sox did whatever they wanted with the Rays. And then the Brewers, like you said, they came out with that Monday W, Kevin, out of happenstance.
Yeah. Like I said, a double play ground ball that scores a run there. And it was just an unfortunate series because you had very close to calling them clunkers on Tuesday and Wednesday. And what really stuck out to me too was the closer for the Brewers. I can't recall his name, but man, that guy could throw gas. He had a 94-mile-per-hour slider and a 100-mile-per-hour heater, and it just got me thinking, okay, so the guy that they bring in for the 9th inning does that, and our closer is A, injured, B, complains about baseballs, and C, can't pitch in cold weather. It's like that's what we're dealing with at this point, unfortunately. And Wednesday, again, like I don't want to hammer on Erasmo Ramirez, but the Rays basically said, we're giving up this game after it's 4-0 and we bring in Erasmo. It's like, we're ready just to kind of sit back and let you all handle this.
Which is so blatant to the whole fandom. Maybe not to casuals, but to us that follow the team so closely. When you're putting Erasmo in a 4-0 game, you are basically saying to the other team, hey, you guys can, if you want BP, go get your stats, go pad your stats up. And what are you also saying to the team too? Like, look, inside that clubhouse, they know who's really good. They know who's there and who's there for a specific role.
They know who's there for mop-up duty just to get through the final innings without, ruining the bullpen schedule.
So when that guy comes on the mound and you're just losing by 4.
Yeah. Because you have an off day. I mean, it's technically like an off day and a half because it was an afternoon game. Then you have Thursday off and then a Friday night game.
So what kind of message are you sending to your team, man? Like it was regrettable, but I mean, what can you do? The team is just going through a lull, a very bad lull.
Yeah, I think Yandy Diaz said it in the post game or at one point that he's never been. Yeah. I mean, the team, he really hasn't been a part of a group since 2019 that has gone through something like this, where like the team is just, there's nothing essentially.
Yeah. There's really nothing. But if you want something, go get yourself PrizePicks. Download the app today because baseball season is officially underway and you cannot miss your chance to add your favorite players from the diamond in your PrizePicks entries. Whether it's strikeouts, RBIs, or first inning runs, which the Rays rarely do, take your pick of more or less and add them to your PrizePicks entry today. You can also get in on the playoff action and win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks as you and the world's best players take the game to a new level during basketball's postseason. Perhaps you're a Denver Nuggets fan and you're very happy that they beat down the LA Lakers. So download the app today. PrizePicks. Use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code LOCKEDONMLB, LOCKEDONMLB. When you download the app today, and you'll get a first deposit match up to $100.
All right. We also want to tell you about Monopoly Go. Yes, we've been talking about it, but there's just so much good stuff in this game. In Monopoly Go, you can team up with friends for timed tournaments where you work together to build up each other's boards. The more you win together, the more awesome prizes you unlock. And there's so much to get. Unique stickers you can trade with friends, to complete albums for big prizes, cool new playing pieces to travel the boards with, and really comical emojis for taunting friends when you smash their buildings or heist their vaults. Plus, Monopoly Go feels new and exciting every day with constantly changing tournaments and challenges. A ton include their own unique mini games like digging for treasure or robot pachinko machine. And there's always new timed events that help you win big, like massive multipliers for everything you win or rent frenzies. There's always something fun to discover in Monopoly Go. So get off the bench and go download it now for free on Google Play or the App Store. Game on. All right. Before we get to baseball trivia, name that war. 3-game series versus the Mets. Over under 7 runs scored for the Rays.
God. If I'm actually being logical, it should be lower. But
yeah,
let's put positivity out there in the ether. Let's put positive vibes in the world. I'm going over.
Yeah. City Connect.
Yes.
That better conclude with like 9 runs scored.
Oh.
Let's put a clunker on the other team for once.
Yes.
Let's get that going.
Yeah, please. Let's do it. Let's look good while we're doing it too.
Yeah. All right. Baseball trivia. Name that war. Let's see if we can pull up the music. There we go. Ulises, what do you have in the arena of baseball trivia?
Well, you were talking about how Minaya and Quintana and Severino have been nails this season. So I was looking up some Mets pitchers from the past and see who are the horses for this franchise.
Okay.
So today I have a list of the top 10 pitchers with the most innings pitched for that franchise. Can you name me 4 of the top 10 pitchers in innings pitched for the New York Metropolitans?
For the entire franchise in their history.
Correct.
Okay. I will tell you they've been very humdrum and mediocre of late. I think 1 playoff appearance since 2016 or 2017, and that was in 2022 where they won 100+ games and I think got knocked out in the wild card. So you can spend lots and lots of money, but still not make anything of it. And I'm not even sure they'll make the playoffs this year. Remains to be seen. Okay. Trivia time. Top 10. Ooh, I'm having trouble with Mets pitchers because I just do not focus on the National League all that much. Are some of these... Okay, I'll just throw one out there. I'm not even 100% sure he played for the Mets, but it's just coming to me. Steve Carlton.
Incorrect. Strike 1.
Okay. Oh my gosh. I'm going to look so bad with this question. Top 10. I guess I'll throw out Jacob deGrom.
And you would be correct. 8th on the list with 1,326 innings.
Other Mets notables.
3 left.
Man,
you
I'm
can do
blanking.
this.
I really don't want to say this guy's name, but I will. Matt Harvey.
Strike 2.
Okay.
I will give you a hint.
Yeah, I need a hint.
Out of the names that you should get, that I am expecting you to get.
Johan Santana.
Oh, buddy. Strike 3.
Okay, give me that hint. Give me that hint.
Yeah.
Give me a foul tip and see if I can knock it.
Out of the 4 names I expect you to get in this question, right? And there were 5 of those names. These 4 guys, 1 you saw, the rest you did not see pitch.
Okay. Zach Wheeler.
Strike 4.
Wow. My Mets knowledge, Evan Klosky is going to exit his wedding and slap me in the face for what I just put forth.
Well,
that was a Rays effort on that trivia question.
Yeah, that was a 55 WRC plus. Effort.
Not good.
I'm gonna start with the bottom. Number 10, Bobby Jones. Number 9, Craig Swan. Number 8, Jacob deGrom. Number 7, this was the guy you saw pitch, Al Leiter. 1,360 innings pitch. Number 6, John Matlack. Number 5, Sid Fernandez. Number 4,
is Bartolo Colon on that list?
He is not.
Okay.
Number 4, Ron Darling. Number 3, Dwight Gooden.
Okay.
Number 2, Jerry Kuzman. And number 1, Tom Seaver.
I was thinking Tom Seaver instead of Steve Carlton. I got my names mixed
I
up.
thought so.
I honestly don't think I still would have gotten 4 or 5 out of those 10. That was, I should have gotten Doc Gooden, but yeah, you burned me on that one. But it is what it is. Let's see how you do on baseball Name That War. Name That War. Also a Mets player. Also a former Rays player. Lucas Duda. What is his career WAR?
Oh, that's a good one. The biggest trade acquisition of the 2017 season, Lucas Duda.
That was some year.
Long goes last. Lucas Duda, first base, DH, and I think he played some outfield, but not too much. So the WAR is going to be very in the lows because you don't get any defensive push with those positions that he played. He was a 240, 260 guy. 15, 20 bombs per season. I don't particularly remember how many years he was in the league, but I could go with 8 years on the league. Okay. So if he was a 1 WAR player a season, that's 8. But let's say that he had a couple years where he, was productive around 2 to 3. So let's go with 11 WAR.
Okay. Lucas Duda played 10 years in the bigs. He did have a 30 homer season with the Mets in 2014, a 27 homer season with the Mets in 2015, a 30 home run season in 2017, split between the Mets and the Rays, and then the rest were, like you said, 13 to 15 home runs respectively. He ultimately played for the Mets, the Royals, the Rays, and the Braves. Career 239 hitter, 156 homers, 171 doubles, a 782 career OPS, first baseman / outfielder. His career WAR is, you weren't too far off, 7.5.
Okay.
According
I gave him a little bit more love. A little bit more love, but hey, I'm sure that he made the millions, right? Do you have that in front of you?
I do not have that top of mind, and I can look it up real briefly here. His career earnings, $26 million.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to shortchange him. I was going to like 21.
Yeah. And I will tell you that if you saw Lucas Duda walking in the street, you probably nobody would recognize him. He's the most average looking. He's a big dude, at 6'4", 255, but there's a lot of big dudes walking around. If he walked into the Trop, I don't think anybody would go up to him and say, "Oh my gosh, it's Lucas Duda." I don't think there's anything distinct about his look.
Wouldn't that be awesome though? Wouldn't that be awesome to just have millions of dollars, be a professional athlete, and you don't have to be harassed by people? That'd be great.
Yeah. No, I think now some people like it. They like to be recognized and noticed, and some people like to be more undercover as well. So, all right. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. We will be at the Rays game on Friday, so give us a shout. If you're interested in meeting up with us, just send us an email or send us a DM message on X or Instagram, and we could try to figure something out, I suppose.
Of course. Always.
Okay. Cool. All right. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you next week.